Hi, in this video, I'm going to be discussing how our menstrual cycles can change and will change throughout our lives depending on what we are going through, and that will then depend on what moon cycle they are connected to. Please, though, remember that there is no right or wrong cycle. You will be on the cycle that you are currently going through within your life. Now, currently here in the UK, we just had the full moon in Libra. It's like a strawberry full moon. It was absolutely amazing. I spent so much time in that last night and I just felt so connected and amazing. And it's just really inspired me to want to share my kind of story and some of what I've been going through with you all. And I hope by sharing that it's gonna help other people and it may help you on your journey of where you're currently at and understanding your cycle in a bit more depth. So the last couple of months, my cycle has been a bit irregular, which is unusual and that's never happened before. And it's not down to like any medical changes. There's not anything I can link it to in that respect. However, I do feel like continuing on my healing journey, I guess there are things that come up at different stages that we have to kind of process and deal with. And, sometimes like to ourselves, they might not seem like a lot, but actually maybe emotionally or mentally or physically, like they can and energetically can take its toll on us. So, there can be multiple factors and it's a lot for us to deal with. I think as women, like we go through so much every month, and I know the reason I'm putting this under the full moon, like menstruating with the full moon category, is because that's the category now, like, or should I say the cycle where my cycle has landed. But please listen to this no matter like what time of the month or what moon cycle you're bleeding on, because it's still going to have good relevant information in, and I'm just sharing my story in the hope that I can help inspire others. So yeah, my cycle had been pretty irregular. Like sometimes it was coming a bit shorter, sometimes it was like going over like 35 days, and I was like stressing a bit because I just wanted to feel so connected. Like in a weird way, I love having my period now that I know more about it. Like it's a lot to deal with, and I do suffer a lot, like a couple of weeks before. I literally feel like there's probably only 1 week out of the month where, in brackets, I'm okay. I say that in like quotes, like okay, because again, okay doesn't literally mean okay, but it means, where you feel like you can probably do a bit more. The rest of the time in like this last 3 weeks, I felt, oh my gosh, like I've been feeling a lot of like pre-menstrual tension and stress, and like on a really heightened like strong level, like food cravings, cramps, bloating, pains, and I'm like, where's my period? I was literally like stressing, like why is it taking so long to come? Like it was due nearly 2 weeks ago. And I was like, okay, in my head, I'm like, yeah, I know, like, I'm probably changing cycles. Like, I thought, is Mother Earth really going to land at me on the full moon? Whereas before that hadn't been my cycle. I think I was on the waning moon or the waxing moon at one point. So again, it's a reflection of like my inner work I've been doing, because I have been doing a lot more inner work. And this year, I know I'm like in the spotlight a little bit more, in the sense that I know I'm having my calling to help others more, and this just ties in. So yeah, so me stressing, and then I'm not lying to you, literally like it might have been like 2-3 hours before midnight, like which would have been like the full moon on the 16th here in the UK. Like I went to the toilet and like there was a tiny drop of blood on the tissue, and I was like, oh my god, like I was so excited. I was thinking, yes, finally. And then like the day then of the full moon and under the full moon, like I started bleeding, like my proper period, and I just felt so like, I felt so magical in that moment. And I felt so special, and I was like, okay, this is why it got delayed, because I'm moving cycles. Because we all know, like with the full moon energy, so as that moon gets bigger in the sky, it's literally like we feel it too. Like everything can expand, and it can be a really sensitive time, and everything can feel so much more because it grows, just like with the moon. It everything expands. It's a lot more sensitive energy. So again, with this cycle, when we bleed with a full moon, it's basically like where we are being called, like we're basically being called as the wise women, and we're being called to share our work, medicine, our experience with the collective. So that's basically like I am sharing, I guess, my healing or my knowledge or wisdom with others. And recently that's been happening. A lot of people reach out, or people that maybe are starting to question things in their life, or thinking, is there more? Like, what's my sole purpose? Like, what am I here to do? I'm having that a lot, people reaching out, and I feel like I've been inspired to help them and share from a different perspective. So that fits the description of what it means when you bleed at the full moon. And it's about using the vitality and the potent power of the full moon, along with the release of the menstruation, to bring something into being. So, to create, birth, and nourish outwardly into this world. So, but by that, it's creating an idea. So I know within myself, it's like I've said it a few times before, like I want to start creating a book that I'm gonna write about my life. And I've been saying this for a long time, and then I hit myself and I'm like, okay, not hit myself, but I tap myself on the shoulder, like, come on, like, what's holding you back? What's stopping you? I block myself sometimes. Sometimes it's confidence, and sometimes it is just that whole, like we do, a lot of us probably do this, and I know a lot of you will relate, and we block ourselves. And I think I know because deep down within inside, like there's probably a lot it's going to bring up emotionally for me to have to like go back over and process and write about and like really be honest with. So I think part of me is holding back from that, but I know that it's something I want to do as like a personal achievement, but also then maybe as well, I hope that it can help and inspire others too. And I want to be able to do more in the sense of like healing and helping others. That is obviously my life path. I'm here as a healer. I know that's my soul's purpose and calling. So I'm learning to work with that. And that is why I feel like, yes, my cycle now has changed to this full moon, bleeding with the full moon, because that is what I'm being called to do, and is to share my experience with others, and that's actually going to be helping them. As I always say to people, in healing ourselves, we can then help heal others, and in healing others, it helps heal the world. And I truly believe there is no greater gift. A lot of people may sit there and think, oh yeah, I want to heal the world and I want to stop this and help with this, but it's like sometimes like we literally can't save the whole world, save everyone, but what we can do is focus on ourselves and healing within our own lives and our own being, and then that has like an inspirational effect on others. You could go to psychics, mediums, healers, but at the end of the day they can only help you, this is what I believe, so much. You can only get so much from someone, and I believe like you have people, yes, that can be very gifted, however, if they're not spiritually mature, maybe, or wise, maybe it's the wise as well, but they might tell you a lot of things, but then really and truly, like, how are they then helping you to uplift and heal in your life and to help you be the best version of yourself? How are they inspiring you to do that? Whereas I am all about that. I want to empower and inspire people to, help them with their healing. And again, I think it's just a reference of how deep you go within yourself. So like with me, I'm doing all my healing work. I'm trying, to do so much. And I also accept it's a natural process and it will happen and it like flows. There'll be times where you do more, times where you do less. But ultimately, then you can help people more when you can relate more and you've done more healing yourself. You can only kind of help people up to the point you've helped yourself. So this cycle, 100%. So if you also are relating to some of this, please feel free to share in the comments. But it's really about being called to share your work. So whatever that means for you, it doesn't have to be in the same respect as what I'm referring to. Your work might be something completely different. It means different things for different people, like your medicine, your experiences, it could be something completely different in like a completely different job role or contents, but that is the general feeling around when you bleed with a full moon. So, and also it's because your energy can go outwards because you're not focused on birthing a literal life or birthing children, like, or wanting to conceive necessarily at this time. It's more of an outward to help and share with others, as opposed to wanting to create inwards for yourself or create a child. Then that would be, I think, with this cycle, you would then ovulate, I think, nearer the new moon, whereas those with the new moon, that's potentially where they may have that energy of wanting to maybe conceive child potentially, whereas those of us on this cycle now, the full moon, that is more about sharing our work with others. So this is literally an example, like in my way, like I'm sharing this video to help and inspire others. You know, I guess just like if you worked in a different job role or you do something different, like I say, can be completely different related, but you are sharing or helping or inspiring the collective and others. So another example I just want to share with this that came to me last night again under the beautiful strawberry moon. Honestly, I've never seen anything so beautiful. I was just mesmerized, honestly, guys. Like, it just felt so special and amazing to be connected to Earth. So I pulled myself like a card from the Sacred Oracles deck, which I like to use because, again, they have this nice like feminine energy to them. And the card that came out, and it was a beautiful, it's like a light pink. I'm going to hopefully upload it to the cover of the video. And it was number 36, the butterfly. So 36 is also then adds to like a 9 energy in numerology, which I love studying. So the 9 energy, you know, it's that kind of old soul, wise, compassionate energy to it, which perfectly sums it up. And I believe like this pink color on the card is like that kind of like, it is that like growth stage, because you're not yet like a deep red, you know, the old wise lady color. Like, you're this nice new kind of like baby stroke pastely pink. So like you have wisdom, but you're still learning and growing along your journey. That's how I'm relating this color. And I just think it has a beautiful message, and it's like, I am transformed. And I think for a lot of us, this is going to relate, because if we look back, you know, whether it be 3 months ago, 3 years ago, like, look at the change, look at how far you've come, look at everything in your life that's been changing, the changes you've made within, like, your unique healing journey, your unique spiritual path you're on. Really, like, look at that. And the message with this is bright wings unfurl after being cocooned in the process of potent change, and the butterfly emerges. And for so many of us, this is true. We've been on these journeys and processes of change. You know, it's not going to look that straightforward and simple. But if we summarize it, yes, a lot of us are on these journeys of change, and the uncertainty of the time spent in transformation being unmade and remade is not forgotten as they unfold and expand. Instead, they re-enter the world with this memory that informs their ability to embrace boldness, knowing the depths they have transferred, with a wonder of colour and vibrancy as their signature. Butterfly calls you to bask in your brilliance, your true dynamic. Nature is most needed at this time and will be welcomed with open arms. When you claim it in for yourself. Now is the time to let yourself be seen, to allow your extroverted tendencies to come out and play. And that ties in with this full moon cycle. And when you do feel like the way but effortlessly floats from one flower to another, the resources, connections, community, and support arrive to greet you. It's time to share your unique colours and gifts with the world. Now, I interpret this as, for many of us, when we go through our dark nights of the soul, we're on our healing journeys, we spend a lot of time inwards. I've spent many months and years alone, pretty much like very solitude, and it's within those times when you feel at your lowest and your loneliest, and you go through some of your deepest, darkest moments in your life, but you go through them alone. That's when you really learn your depth and strength of character. And it's within those times that you don't even realize it at the time, but you're having so much insight and wisdom come to you, and it grows you. It gives your soul strength and character. And then further down the line, that's when you're at a point where you're like, wow, yeah, how did I learn all this? Or a lot of people say it to me, oh, you're young, but you're wise, or oh yeah, you said this, it's very inspiring to me or helpful. And it's like, yeah, it's that, because when you go through a certain healing process and time alone, literally like the cocoon before the butterfly comes out of the shell, it's like, we all have multiple rebirths, I believe, over different lifetimes, depending on the work we're here to do. But, it's within that time where we don't really know what's happening, we don't really know at that time, like, you're growing your character, you're growing, you're changing, you're just in that moment going through it. And then suddenly, like, your wings start appearing and you start, sharing that. And that's what I think the message with this, I believe, is to really share yourself with the world in whatever way or means that makes sense to you. But share. Don't be afraid. Don't be embarrassed. Don't feel ashamed. Share. Even if it's just as women sharing your experiences of your monthly cycle, whether it be with your friends, other women, your partner, like, it's not a taboo subject. We should be more open about this. And it's a beautiful part of life that we get to experience this every month. And it's true that when you effortlessly can float, literally like the butterfly does, from one flower to another. And that is true. The resources and connections and community, they come in, and it's the support is there to greet you. So I just think it's a beautiful message. And for me, it really resonated with the particular cycle that I'm at. And I just wanted to share it with you guys because, in these dark times, sometimes little bits of hope and happiness and the simple things like being in nature, appreciating the beauty around us, appreciating our connection as women, that we can have this time every month where we have extra heightened intuition, guidance, insights come to us, and it is our time when we menstruate. I do strongly advise as well having time alone so you can really truly go inwards and connect with yourself. Listen to your body. How is your body feeling? If you need rest, if you need nourishment, if you need quiet time, respect your body and your body's wishes, because often when we go against what our gut tells us and our higher self advises us to do, and we go against that, I feel like that's when we can have then a lot more problems and blocks that we come up and face against. So just go within, trust the process, trust your body, trust where your cycle is. If your periods are becoming a bit irregular, like, trust the process. Obviously, if you feel there's an underlying health issue, then seek help for that if you feel guided to. But just trust Mother Earth and trust the flow. And when we get these deep, dark emotions come up, don't be afraid to feel them and release them. And that is, again, the full moon energy. It's releasing. I did a big thing yesterday and wrote down so much I wanted to release, and I felt so much more empowered for that. So go with the flows and the cycles of nature and the earth. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you to everyone who likes, comments, and subscribes. Like, I'm truly blessed and grateful to you all. And I hope you continue to keep updated with new videos and that they're helpful for you guys. Thank you.